Hi, it's Isabel, and today I want to recommend 3 haunted house stories to you. Because it is nearly October and I'm feeling all kinds of spooky and creepy and Halloween's coming up, I thought this would be a very fitting video to do now. I tried to go for 3 kind of different haunted house stories, so hopefully there will be one for everybody who likes haunted houses at least. I have a modern classic, I have a very hyped new release, and I have a kind of lesser known novella by an author that is quite well known at the moment as well. Let's start with the modern classic. Of course it is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I could not make a video about haunted houses without including this one. So this novel is a story about a young woman who is invited to spend some time in a haunted house because she has a sensitivity for the supernatural. And she is joined there by I think it's a professor who is kind of running this experiment, and a few other people who also have experiences with paranormal and supernatural happenings. And this book is very much a psychological exploration of the main character. She is a very special kind of character, a bit lonely and really looking for connection, and she befriends some of the people who are there with her, and the book is also in part about these small group dynamics. So if you like these types of isolated settings with small groups of people interacting, you would probably like this one. And it is also properly creepy in parts. There's one scene in particular that scared me while I was reading it alone at night, which probably just wasn't the best time to read a horror novel. So if you want something that's not gory but definitely deliciously creepy, I would highly recommend giving The Haunting of Hill House a go. The next book I want to recommend I don't have with me because it's a very new release. It is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This has been all over BookTube and Bookstagram lately. This one is also about a young woman going to a creepy Gothic house. But she goes there because it's where her cousin lives. Her cousin has been recently wed and moved into that house with her husband and his family, but she has now fallen ill. So our protagonist goes to the house to kind of see what is going on and help her cousin. But she very quickly starts to suspect that something more sinister is going on, and she tries to get to the bottom of it. I really loved the reveal in this book, and I can't really talk about it because it would be a spoiler, but it was just exactly what I wanted. I was so happy when the big reveal came. It's very satisfying, and I just loved it. The book also has a really great atmosphere throughout. It has everything you would want from a kind of gothic, creepy, spooky book. It has the sort of damp, foggy atmosphere, complete with graveyards and moving wallpaper. It's just everything you'd want. So it's absolutely perfect to read in autumn. The last book I want to recommend is one by Stephen Graham Jones, and he is quite well known at the moment for his most recent release, The Only Good Indians, which I also read and loved. But the one that I want to recommend to you in the context of haunted houses is his novella Mapping the Interior. This one is, as you can see, very short, and as his other novel, it follows a cast of characters that are all Native American. So this one follows a Native American boy who lives in a kind of shabby, cheap house that's kind of falling apart with his mother and his little brother, because his father has died, I think, a few years back. But then the boy starts seeing, or believing to see, the father's ghost, and the ghost is kind of dressed up in this festive native dress. And the story kind of goes from there. I don't want to say more because it is so short, and I think it's best if you just find out what happens for yourself. What I can say though is that this book is very much about the Native American experience, their life today, but also how it is influenced by history and the trauma that they experienced. And like The Only Good Indians, it's very much about how modern Native Americans are torn between modern life and tradition. But even though it looks at these kind of grander themes, it also had scenes that just completely pulled you in and really immersed me in the story, and I just really wanted to find out what happens next, and I raced through this book. And the ending is absolutely heartbreaking. So be warned. And that's already it. Those are the 3 haunted house books that I want to recommend for you this spooky season. I hope you enjoyed this kind of more quick, casual video, and I'll hopefully see you in my next one. Goodbye!